Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the official start of the redo of the start of the Season 3.
Yep, last match of the night.
Starts today, yes.
Tell people what happened in the ISO Denal match.
ISO won 3-1.
A little bit of a shocking outcome. Denal didn't look the strongest against Epsilon.
ISO is 2-0 on the day. They're now going up against Epsilon for what is most likely going to be a 3-0 start for ISO. Like, what?
Yeah, pretty nice start for ISO tonight.
Who would have?
This is going to be an interesting match. It's going to be ON versus Denal, battle of 101 teams.
Okay, we saw Nagafen use the AK-12. Slasher is going to be running the AK-12 as well. Is that something we don't know?
Yeah, I mean, there might be.
I hope so.
I bet you we'll find out.
All right, well, let's see Slasher with the AK-12. Off the break, of course, Denal won the first game against Epsilon, then losing to ISO and puts them 1-1 in the Season 3 Pro League so far. ON, on the other hand, they lost their first game against ISO and then went up and beat Epsilon in Game 2, so they are also 1-1. So one of these two teams will be 2-1 by the end of it. Big question, though, really on probably a lot of people's minds right now is Epsilon. Are they going to start 0-3 going up against ISO, who is 2-0, winning both of their games this evening? I think it's likely.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I would be kind of shocked if Epsilon wins that game and ISO doesn't start 3-0. Who do you like in this matchup, though?
Honestly, if you look back at Denal versus Epsilon and in the hard points, like Solar was just silly. The Detroit was very close as well. Like I feel like Denal this evening at least aren't doing well in the hard points.
Yeah,
and we know they just lost one against ISO too.
If they win the hard point, I think they probably win this series. You know, Denal probably takes the S&D. They probably take the uplink. I think it might be even like a quick 3-0.
Really?
I think ON needs to win this one if they want to keep it close.
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it there. I think map number 1 needs to go to ON if they're going to have any chance of taking this series. Moch, nice couple of kills, quick succession, replays both falling. Score currently at 39-18 with 20 seconds left on the hardpoint before it rotates. Of course, Drift hardpoint, you've seen Drift a couple of times before in past season S&D. Obviously this time you'll be seeing it as hardpoint. Excited for the season finals, of course, if you are just tuning into the Pro League and you're wondering, hey, you know what happened? How come everyone is starting 0-0? All 12 teams will be at the season finals as well, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and it's the right way to do it. I mean, MLG makes the right call there. You know, all 12 teams are going to go to that Season 3 playoffs. And then, you know, it's going to be seeded by how these 11 games for each team goes and their records and such.
53-22, the score currently in favor of Denal. Replays on your screen with the Bow, picks up a couple of kills. Looking for more, should have his third. And in fact, his teammate Hook able to pick up that one. But Denal starting to build themselves a favorable lead. As no one, finally, from Optic Nation, able to contest that hill. It took Miracles just jumping in. Now 26 seconds left. ON needs to stay around the outside of this hill. See if they can try and bring themselves back to this game, down by just over 30 points. Miracles with a big win, not able to find the second. Ricky, though, in a position to trade that kill immediately on Hook, and ON bring themselves back in it.
Yeah, they're going to do a nice job locking down this hard point. See Ricky inside. A kill's going on around it, but Denal not able to get anywhere near the hard point. Looks like they're going to try and set up for the next one, but ON, they've rotated to the other side of the map, so figure they're going to get at least the first few seconds here. It's going to be Slasher trying to break in, going to miss a melee. Kills going in ON's favor. They're going to be able to control this, and they should be able to at least tie it up here, Ben.
Moch got a huge two-piece, just holding down the spawns for his teams on this next hard point on that rotation. Massive play from him, and he's actually going to be on the hill as well, waiting for players to push, looking for his fourth kill, not going to be able to find it. Miracles, though, great position to clean up. Temp, 69-69, game tied, 30 seconds left on the second to last hard point of the first rotation.
Yeah, and it's been a nice job by ON to bring themselves back into this game. I mean, you know, Denal started off hot, ON mounting a little bit of a comeback. Miracles, 9-12 for ON, and really not the one I would even worry about. You expect him to start playing better bows, 10-17, just doing things around the objective, you know, not having his best game. Ricky's the one that I was looking at in the first series that we casted of them. He was struggling in the respawns, 14-16, so playing a little bit better. I think they'll need, you know, him to play well in this series in respawns to win. I mean, Denal stacked with some great Slayers.
It's weird though, you look at Denal, Hook is 21-11. You've got Temp at 17-13, and it's a 2-point game. You know, the guys are coming out, slaying pretty heavily, winning huge gunfights, but now they're actually trailing to ON. And you go back to ON's hardpoint against Epsilon, you know, that hardpoint Detroit, they trailed for the entire first side, were getting outslayed, and still somehow managed to pick up that win.
Yeah, it's unbelievable in that first one. You saw that go down. You see a nice punch right there coming in from Temp. How good do you think he is? I mean, he always puts up some great numbers. In the terms of ARs in Advanced Warfare, where are you putting Temp?
I mean, he's definitely up there. I feel like he's a player who consistently people kind of forget about his talent as an assault rifle player. I'd say, you know, comfortably fits in my top 5. I don't think he's as good as a Formal or a Replacer, though. I still think that those two are kind of...
Who'd be your number 3?
See, that's a tough one. That's a really good question, to be honest. I think, you know, Temp could potentially fit in that role. You think about Slasher. I mean, 18 and 14 right now, but, you know, when he gets to land, he's going to play pretty well. Some of the results he's had, he's won a championship on the game, too. He's definitely in that conversation. I mean, can you consider Moach up there as well? Like, you look at the stuff he's done with Optic Nation, he's turned around that team pretty much single-handedly. His AR presence has been massive. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Where would you put Mad Cat?
In terms of skill or in terms of as a player, including how good of a teammate he is?
Skill.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be up there as well. Same with Swanee, though. Like, in terms of the natural AR shot, like, Mad Cat, the stuff he does is ridiculous.
Yeah, I would say those guys are near my
They'd be around
top
that area.
5.
Yeah, they're in the conversation.
Octane.
Yes.
Octane always puts up good numbers.
I completely forgot about Octane. He'd probably be my 3rd best right now.
Yeah, I think so. Octane's a monster.
He's so good. His uplink play is T1. Denal finally find themselves back into the lead here. 136 to 103. 50 seconds left on the hard point as it rotates over to the second hill. After second rotation, however, it's going to be Moach over there ready. Early and waiting, but unfortunately he's going to fall and 4 players down. Denal just breezing.
Yeah, Denal's starting to heat up. You see him racking up kills in the kill feed. I believe it was a 4 down, 4 Optic Nation. Temp just sitting up top, just causing havoc with the AR. And this is where it gets dangerous for ON. I mean, if outside of Moach, they don't have anybody who can really shoot a distance versus Temp.
Still alive. Slasher on a 7 streak, Temp on a 6 streak, and this is where it gets worrying for Optic Nation. When a couple of players from Denal start heating up like that, really, I don't think there's that many players from range who can compete with them. It's going to be tough. You really just heavily rely on Moach at that point. So a lot of pressure for just Moach to have. 154 to 109. Hardpoint about to rotate. Ricky trying to slay around the outside, but that's a dash away. And he will ultimately end up falling. Miracle's on the next hill, though, with his ASM-1 waiting to see if anyone from Denal is going to try and push straight through. Desperately trying to reduce this deficit.
They're going to need a ton of time on this hill. I mean, which ones of the remaining ones would you say are even hills that you could take a ton of time on? I feel like hill number 2 is the only... And I guess the next hill, hill number 4, I guess those are the 2 that you can take the most amount of time on. Would you fairly say? I mean, this one you can do a pretty decent amount of time on.
You can, as long as your teammates are slaying around the outside. You can do a great job. It's worth mentioning this Optic Nation host. Denal will host 2, 4, and 5. So a win here for Denal is especially good. It being off host and then hosting the S&D, you don't really expect them to lose that even if they weren't on host.
Right.
Then it just comes down to, can ON take the uplink? If they can, great. But then you go over to a Denal host on a hard point.
Yeah, that's a tough draw for ON. As you see, currently down 20 plus in this one. It looks like it's going to be Denial set up for this next hill. Everything in your kill feed is pretty much blue right now. Not looking good for Optic Nation.
Yeah, they're going to need to pick up a lot of kills very quickly. They're going to try and break onto this hill, but again, just that blue wall in the kill feed. Denal picking up so many kills, and you look at the scoreboard. The fact that this is only a 40-point game with Hook at nearly 40, Temp at nearly 40, Slasher at nearly 40. And the highest amount of kills from ON is Moach with 30. Look at how heavily they are getting outslayed, and this is still a close game.
And this is the hardest thing for Optic Nation to deal with, though, is like teams that can heavily outslay. I mean, they're great. They're a great team. And they added Moach to give them that extra slaying power, and he does. But they don't know if that's even enough.
Is this a testament to ON playing hardpoint correctly? Or is this just Denal not concentrating on the hill enough? Like, what is going on? I mean, this is massively outslayed. 3 players, 40 kills, minute left, and we're looking at a 15-point game?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of both.
That's crazy. You'd expect Denal to just whitewash. Like, the game should be over by now. It shouldn't. What's scary is, ON mathematically could still win this if they win those key gunfights on the hill, and in fact, Bo's now on the hard point at 27 and 40. If he wins the second gunfight, he'd be in a good position.
This would be a huge loss for Denial. Looks like Optic Nation going to close gap to 14 here. Can they make the comeback? Denial, they get a spawn that's so far out. You see players just getting taken out from
4 points.
Denial, and you see 4 points away from making this comeback. Replay is going to be able to take out Embo's on the hill. 13 seconds left, Ben. They're going to need a break right away if Optic Nation is going to solidify this comeback.
I think Hook may have just done it. He has, but by God, was that a close one. ON take it right to the final hill despite 340 bombs and a 30 from replays. It's still incredibly, incredibly close. It finishes a 9-point game overall. A game like that shouldn't be that close. It just shouldn't be that close.
It should be nowhere that close. Just unbelievable attempt by Optic Nation to make the comeback. Denial, though, so strong in the slugging department. Slasher, Tim, and Hook all above 40 kills. No replays. Handling his weight in the OBJ department, 31-37, doing a nice job. And Denial, just too strong for ON. ON put up a good fight, just didn't have enough.
So Denial 1-0 up. Coming up next, Search and Destroy Detroit.